Selkirk is finally living up to the reputation. With the recent release of the SLK Halo Pros, the rumored Lab 007, and now the Vanguard Pros, Selkirk seems to finally be back into the swing of things. I have been quite critical of Selkirk as of late due to the lack of innovation, being stuck on paint grit, and charging frankly too much for what they were offering. But with my last review of the SLK Halo Pro paddles and now this release, I have been really enjoying their products again. Now, before we jump into the specs and performance of this paddle, it would be greatly appreciated if you could click the subscribe button down below. This helps support the growth of this channel so I can continue providing you with value in these reviews. With that out of the way, let's jump into some specs. This paddle is currently offered in two shapes, the Epic and the Invicta shape. I will be focusing on the Invicta shape in this review. This paddle is elongated. The Vanguard Pro is thermoformed. Finally, thank you Selkirk. The surface is a 4-layer 12K raw carbon fiber face. This paddle comes in at 16 millimeters. The grip length is 5.5 inches. The grip circumference is 4.25 inches. The swing weight is 114. The twist weight was 5.6. The static weight of my paddle was 7.9 ounces. And the retail price of this paddle was $229. Lastly, I wanted to make sure I said this as most of their higher end paddles are made in the USA, but this one is only assembled in the US and manufactured in China. This paddle blew me away. I did not have crazy high expectations for the Vanguard Control release a few months ago, but this new Vanguard Pro is a very solid paddle. For starters, it has a huge sweet spot and forgiveness for a Selkirk paddle. My spin test came back at 1,950 RPMs, which is nothing crazy as we've been seeing on the market, but that is still a very good spin. I would classify this as a control paddle leaning all court. This paddle plays very soft, but the paddle just feels like it grips the ball so well. My touch with this paddle is amazing, and the feedback and just general feel of this paddle is just so nice. In a sea of power paddles hitting the market, it is nice to be reminded how good a paddle with great control feels like. I never had to worry about popping the ball up, and my drops just came so naturally. And even though this is by no means a power paddle, I was still able to generate a decent amount of power on my drives and putaways where I did not feel like I was at a severe disadvantage like some other control-oriented paddles I have been playing with. If you are coming from a Selkirk Lux or a 003 and looking for more power with the same amount of control, I think this is a great option for you. Selkirk really came to play on this one. Utilizing the brand's colors of red, white, and black, this paddle pops. This is probably my favorite looking Selkirk paddle that has been released. The checkered face with the 18K carbon fiber surface, with the logo, with the white grip and edge guard just makes this paddle pop. It's not too flashy, but it is unique enough to where you'll stand out amongst plain paddles in the paddle saddle. I just can't get over how good this paddle looks in my opinion. I am very happy with the Vanguard Pro. Now, do I think there are still better values with similar performance for less money out there? Yes, but if you are a fan of Selkirk and need something new, I think this is a great option. Selkirk is finally implementing some of the newer tech that we have been seeing on the market from other paddle manufacturers, and it's about dang time. I really enjoy how this paddle plays, and I would steer you towards the Vanguard Pro over any paddle from Selkirk outside of the new SLK Halo Pro line. Between these two new releases, Selkirk will have you covered as long as you are not looking for a super high power paddle like the Yola Gen 3S or the Rhombus Ripple. Both of Selkirk's new releases will have longer lasting spin than their Amped Pro, Lux, or Power Air. These paddles also should have better forgiveness than those three paddles previously mentioned. All in all, I think the Vanguard Pro is a very solid paddle, and I would recommend you give it a try if you aren't looking to play a strictly power game. If you have any questions or feedback for myself, let me know down in the comments. Outside of that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.